Good morning. I hope that this video finds you doing well. So, 75 hard, week 5. Story time. It was quite a week. So my plan, because for week 4, I had gained 1 pound, and my plan for week 5 was to increase my intensity on my cardio and start running, and to pick up heavier weights, to increase my weights with doing my resistance and strength training. So Sunday, that was the morning that I weighed in and was up the pound. But Sunday afternoon, my husband and I, we went and did a 10K. So I had about 30,000 steps in for the day. So I had no concerns about that 1 pound. So Sunday was a great day. Monday was a great day. I had a little over 20,000 steps in at the end of the day. Did 2 really good workouts. Did all of my 75 hard challenge, criteria were met. The gallon of water, reading, no cheat meals. Started off the week doing phenomenal. Tuesday morning, my fall from grace. So I had taken my dogs out about 5:30 a.m. I have 2 adult huskies. One is 3 years old and one is 2 years old. And my 2-year-old she's very strong. She probably weighs about 80 pounds. She's very active. She's very independent. She doesn't do well on a leash. I won't say she doesn't do well. She's a typical husky. She's a straight up work dog, so she's always pulling. And my 3-year-old, he's just scared of a leash because he had been an outside dog all of his life, had never been on a leash or indoors. He was actually a rescue from a puppy mill, so he's still terrified of everything. But I took them out, and I had 1 leash on each hand, so 1 dog on each arm, each hand. And it was 5:30, so it was still really dark out. Well, one of my neighbors has this dog that has a tendency to be pretty aggressive, and he kind of scares me a little. He's been aggressive toward my dogs, toward me, toward my brother, toward my grandchildren. Well, this dog was in the backyard at the edge of the yard, and as we come off of our back porch steps, my dogs just, huskies, high prey drive, very strong dogs, they bolted. They just both took off after this dog. Now, a loose husky is never a good thing, so I held on to the leashes for dear life. Did not want these dogs to, chase off after a neighborhood dog. So I held on to them. Well, 1 husky is strong, and she can drag me around the yard. 2 huskies, I found out, they dragged me like a rag doll. I know in hindsight I should have just let go of them, but I really didn't want them to get loose, and I didn't realize how strong they were together. Excuse me. So I couldn't stop them. I couldn't slow them down. They were dragging me, and the whole thing happened so fast that I really didn't have time to think like I should let go of these dogs. Like, it was a matter of seconds. So they dragged me out to the edge of the yard, and I was trying so hard to stop them. Well, because they were pulling so hard, they did actually break free from my grip. And because they had been pulling me so fast and so hard, that when they broke free, the momentum that I had just continued, and my body just continued forward, and I fell over and I landed on my chest on a tree stump. But it wasn't a tree stump that had been sawn off so that it was nice and smooth, even though that still wouldn't have been a great thing to fall on. It had been an older tree that had rotted and broke off during a storm, so it had lots of jagged wood on top of it. So immediately I was like almost like in a state of shock after I got up, because I was so close to this other tree that I'm still not entirely convinced that my head didn't hit the other tree. But my chest immediately started swelling and bruising. I was able to get up. I managed to get myself over into my next door neighbor's yard and get my dogs, because they were distracted by something. So I was able to catch up with them and get them back in the house. Within a matter of minutes, the left side of my chest was just completely swollen. It was hurting to breathe. The bruising was already like looking terrible. My husband took me to the emergency room and they did x-rays to make sure that my ribs and my sternum, nothing was broken. They did a CT scan to make sure that there was no puncture in my lungs, no bleeding from my heart. And they did an EKG to make sure that there was no damage from my heart from the blunt force trauma of landing on my chest. So luckily, and thank goodness, all the tests came back good. But I had serious, severe chest wall bruising. My whole chest outside was completely bruised, and at this point turning black. Swelling was coming all the way up almost to my neck, and I had a huge hematoma. My lung wasn't punctured, but it was swelling because the hematoma was on the wall, the lining of the wall of my lung. So breathing was so difficult. Moving was almost impossible. So at this point, there's nothing I can do. I can't work out. I'm severely injured and in a tremendous amount of pain. So that was kind of it for my 75 hard, because it was several days before I could even move my left arm without just wanting to cry. I do still have some bruising left. I'll try to show you here. And this is, I'm not showing you anything inappropriate. That's hair right there, but that's a bruise right there. It's really hard and it's all swollen, and this actually looks good. Compared to what it did look like. Let me try this again. With some better light. I don't know if I've got good light, but like that right there. But yeah, this actually looks better. So much better than it did. And I had to wait. I couldn't work out or do anything until I went to the doctor to have my my follow-up, because I had to follow up in a week. And at the follow-up, basically, I can start walking or like doing some things. As far as lifting weights, I obviously can't lift heavy weights. So at that point, 75 hard was just over for me. It was just done. And there's nothing I could do about it. Dogs didn't intentionally hurt me, but unfortunately I was injured very badly, and I don't want to undo any progress that I made, not just with 75 hard, but in my own fitness and weight loss journey, beyond that. And I know the thing with 75 hard is that it's not about, being a weight loss challenge. It's more about a mental strength challenge. And it's more about pushing yourself to develop these, habits, like good habits that are sustainable habits to last with you, that, to last for, indefinitely, that you can, habits that you can sustain pretty much for the rest of your life. And as far as the water, I loved, I struggled a lot to get in a gallon every day, but I loved drinking a lot, the amount of water that I was drinking, because like I just felt good. My skin felt so good, and I felt good overall. The working out 2 times a day, I really enjoyed that, because I did one morning workout, one evening workout, and then the whole idea of getting outside to do one outdoor workout, that even made it better. Just because I loved being outdoors, and it did so much for me, my mental health. So, and as far as the reading every day, I still do, still try to follow the Miracle Morning, and that includes doing reading every day. So I'm probably going to stick with these habits that I picked up during 75 hard, at least to some degree. Will I ever try to do 75 hard challenge again once I'm healed up? I probably will, just because I started the challenge and I would like to see it through, just for my own personal, as a personal victory for myself. So I probably will go back and do it, but I just have to be, healed up enough to really do this. As far as starting it right now, I don't know that the timing is even great, because I had started it at a time frame where I would have been completed with it before my son and daughter-in-law's wedding, because, it's a wedding, so I would like to have a drink and at least toast to the bride and groom. It's my son's wedding, and I was going to be completed by then. Their wedding is later in May, the 21st of May. So I'm not going to restart it right now anyway, just because of the wedding coming up. And I'm actually having oral surgery done. I have a wisdom tooth being cut out. So for the timing, I won't start it back right now. But I think that after the wedding, I should be healed up enough that I'll be ready to go back and do the 75 hard challenge all over. In addition to, just my normal fitness and wellness and weight loss journey, doing my Zumba, working on my my fitness program that I'm putting together, that I came up with for my ISSA group fitness certification. So I will continue working on that. I will continue working on my Zumba, and I think after the wedding I will start back with the 75 hard challenge. But for right now, there was nothing I could do. I started out the week doing great, but sometimes, they say sometimes life happens, and it does, and sometimes things come up, and they do, and sometimes you just get an unforeseen and unfortunate accident, an injury that just absolutely prohibits you from doing the workouts. Now, I could, as far as eating, that wouldn't have been an issue. Reading, definitely not an issue, because I couldn't really feel like doing much else. Drinking water, not an issue, but at least the first few days, up to a week after having the injury, there's no way I could have worked out. So you know, it is what it is. And I hated that my 75 hard challenge had to end that way, for more reasons than just losing out of the challenge. Nobody really wants to be injured like this, but you know, sometimes it happens, and when it happens, it's just important to let the body heal up. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm letting my body heal properly, because I don't want any damage to my lungs or my heart as a result of not allowing this to heal up in the way that it should have. So I guess that's kind of it. If you made it to the end of this video, as always, thank you so much. I appreciate that you've taken the time to watch this video. And I will definitely be back on my fitness and weight loss journey. I'm still pushing through, and I will go back and do the 75 hard challenge. So I hope that you will continue to follow my journey and my story. And I hope that you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye.